Welcome aboard. It's time to grab your wave and swim out into the sea of ideas as we try and catch a wave and ride it right into the sales pipeline with our host, Matt Hines. But this is going to be a quick show today because you've got the author of the 60-second sale.
No, I'm really looking forward to today. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining us on another episode of Sales Pipeline Radio. If you're joining us live on the Funnel Media Radio Network, thanks very much for joining us in the middle of your workday. If you're joining us on the podcast, thank you so much for subscribing. Appreciate everyone joining us on iTunes, on Stitcher, on Google Play, and all the places where you can find fine podcasts. You can also find every episode of Sales Pipeline Radio, past, present, and future, on salespipelineradio.com. Each week, we are featuring some of the best and brightest minds, writers, speakers, authors, thought leaders in B2B sales and marketing. Today is no different. Very, very excited to have joining us Dave Lorenzo. He is the author of the 60-second sale, the ultimate system for building lifelong client relationships in the blink of an eye. David, thanks so much for joining us today.
Hey, gentlemen, thank you for having me. It's wonderful to be here.
So I'm excited to have you on. I've been following you for a while. You've been sort of on our radar and on the radar of a lot of sales professionals and sales managers for a long time. Earlier this year, just a couple months ago, published this new book, The 60-Second Sale. You know, we get a lot of B2B sales professionals, a lot of people doing long-term complex sales efforts. The 60-second sale sounds a little like 12-minute abs. Is it really that easy? Can you really do it this quickly? I know that's an unfair comparison, but talk a little bit about what you mean by the 60-second sale and why you wrote this.
Well, the 60-second sale is about creating a condition under which, if your best client, the person who trusted you most in the business world, had a need and you called them up, it would only take you 60 seconds to close that deal. So if you were adding value to somebody who already trusted you, you could close a deal in 60 seconds if you met those exact conditions. The book is about creating those conditions every single time. It's about taking what everybody would think of as a one-call close environment and making the relationship the one-call close. Another way to look at it is to take the individual moments of truth that occur throughout the day with our clients and with the evangelists who are out there recommending our services and winning each of those individual moments of truth. So you create an environment that is one of trust, and you make sure that you're always focused on the wants and the needs of your clients, and you can close a deal in 60 seconds.
So it sounds like getting to that point requires a lot of foundational work to build the relationship, to create the conditions and needs. Talk a little bit about the things that are required to sort of create differentiation and separation in what could be competitive markets that allow for that kind of a conditions for that 60-second sale.
Sure. That's the part of the title that I really like. You have to win each moment. We started off by talking about sports, and the greatest sign that I've seen probably in the last 5 years hangs in the dugout at Yankee Stadium, and that says, win the at-bat. And you'll win the games, and you'll win the championship. And what they mean by win the at-bat is moment by moment, pitch by pitch, you have to do the things necessary in order to succeed. And the conditions to create a 60-second sale start with when you first meet somebody. If you meet someone and you have what's called an external orientation, if you meet them and you talk about them, talk about what their needs are, what their goals are, and how you can help them fulfill those goals or solve their problems, your relationship is off to a good start. How many times have you seen people walk up to other folks, either at a Chamber of Commerce event or even at what's supposed to be a social event, and they walk up to them and they go, listen, I can show you 15 different ways to do this, this, and this, and if I do, you'll make more money. Do you want to come meet me at my office and we can talk about ways to do that? I mean, you're just pushing yourself on somebody else, and you're starting the relationship off on the wrong foot. You're not going to win that at bat. If you start the relationship off by saying, hey, tell me a little bit about you and how you got into this business in the first place, it shows that you have an external orientation. It shows that you're interested in them, and then you can move on to helping them solve their problems. So that's the first time you get up to bat. That's your first opportunity to win.
Talking today on Sales Pipeline Radio with Dave Lorenzo. He's the author of the new book, The 60-Second Sale, the ultimate system for building lifelong client relationships in the blink of an eye. And make sure you go check out greatsalesbook.com. You'll learn more about the book, get a copy of the book, spend more than 60 seconds perhaps with Dave Lorenzo himself with a consultation around the ideas of the book. But join us next week, 11:30 Pacific, 2:30 Eastern. For my great producer, Paul, this is Matt Hines. Thanks for joining us on another episode of Sales Pipeline Radio.
You've been listening to another episode of Sales Pipeline Radio, brought to you by the good folks at Matt Hines Marketing, part of the ever-growing Funnel radio channel for at-work listeners like you.